How am I doing? Oh, can you see me? Do you recognize me? Am I convincing? As you, I mean. Because when you do us, I have to say, you're pretty hopeless. For example, bzzz. That's not actually the sound we make. And then you often make us black and white and striped. There's no such thing as a black and white striped bee. And you never get our hair right. But never mind. You try. I'm trying. So, am I a convincing human? The look of me, I mean. We'll get to the humanity of me later. I've studied you. Like any good actor preparing a role. Your movements, your speech. Do I sound like you? More or less? Anyway, you don't all sound the same. As long as I'm sounding more or less human, I'm happy. Am I? I mean sounding more or less human. I'm not asking if I'm happy. That seems very complicated as a human. But now I need your help. What you call acting notes on being human. So that I can convincingly be you. There are some things I still don't understand. I know that as well as looking more or less alike, you're all different. The way we're all different. Although from the way you portray us, I'm not sure you know much about us. Let me explain. There are bees who live in hives, are sort of like your apartment blocks, and produce honey, a bit like factory or office workers. And there are solitary bees who are a bit more individualistic and live in gardens and hedges and nest underground. But basically all of us, honey, bumble, mason, mining, carpenter, hairy-footed, morning, sweat, squash, blueberry, leaf cutter, or longhorned, pollinate everything, which means that as we go about our business, the planet keeps going and is healthy. I could tell you a lot more, but that's not my purpose since I am you. The thing is, I can't figure out exactly what you do. That is, how you keep the planet going, which is what every living thing does. For example, as a bee, I look for flowers, so I fly with a purpose. I search. I hover. I spot a flower. I land on it, and then I have a kind of dialogue. It might have been sprayed with a chemical, so it tells me immediately not to stay there. It could hurt me. I quickly go to another flower. On that one, there might have been another bee just before me. So it says, sorry mate, you're too late. And eventually, I find a flower, and it's a good one, and I stay there and collect whatever it has to give me. And as I do this, I spread a little pollen around, so that it's happy, because that'll make more flowers. The exact way living things reproduce is complex, and I won't go into it. Although, I've noticed you humans do sex pretty simply. No, I'm not going to act out human sex right now. Maybe another time. Okay, here I am, a human. Yes, now I move. You seem to have a lot of ways of moving. Sometimes with your short legs, sometimes with your long legs, sometimes without legs, in rolling boxes. I'm going to try legs. So I move. But I seem to have no direction. There's a good flower right in front of me, but I don't see it. Instead, I go for that one over there. It tells me it's dangerous and full of chemicals, but I absolutely insist on feeding from it, because it's more showy. Why don't I, a human, know what's good for me? And sometimes I see a bee, a human, and I try to push it off. Gah! Ha! That's how you do threat, yes? But why? And sometimes I sort of whiz about from here and there for no reason. I think you call it exercise? A jogging? You go in a straight line and miss all the flowers. And sometimes you pile into one of your rolling boxes with your short legs at right angles. Like this, I think. Have I got it right? Ugh. What are you looking for from these boxes? I think you call it motivation. I'm really trying to get into my human character, but there seems to be a lack of consistency. Or is there something I'm not getting? Here I am, doing actions, but I can't seem to find their intention. And now something else. When you see me, a bee that is, and I'm not moving, I'm still. I watch. I'm alert. But you're often not moving, but not still. Twitching. Like this. Maybe it's grooming. We do grooming too. We clean our legs and antennae a lot, but I don't notice you're much better afterwards, and you haven't spread anything good around you. So I can't see the purpose. And maybe it's evolutionary? Scaring off predators? You seem to be very frightened of something you call boredom. Maybe boredom is one of your worst predators. That's it. Got it. I twitch to scare off my predator. Does it work? But back to purpose. How you find it. How you make yourself yourself. I think it's also called an objective or a use. Why is it so hard to find? Acting is hard. Acting human is really, really hard. If I were a bee advising another bee on their purpose or objective, I think you also call it a journey. I'd say, look for the flowers. They'll tell you everything. Look for the flowers. What's that in human language? You can use the movement you call walking, or the one you call being still. With both, you find plants, good things that nourish you. Maybe you call them thoughts. Truths? Kindness? Something that speaks to you. Then when you found something good in that flower, you spread it around. Finally, you tell others about it, so they can make a beeline for it. If I did that, I'd be a happy human. I imagine it's even more of a challenge to play a happy human than a normal human. Ugh. But I'm going to try. I'll practice a bit on my own first. Oh, it's very tiring just being a human. So I'm going to take a break now and be a bee for a while. But thanks for watching. And if you ever want any advice on how to act like a bee, give me a ring.